Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whenever you are listening to us. We are in the third chapter, the third episode of LDPL8 podcast, so be welcome. First of all, I would like to give a special thanks and of course a welcome to our host, Mr. Enrique. Mr. Enrique, hello.
Hello, Camilo. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here. And as you mentioned, this is our third edition of LDLA podcast. We are so happy to be here and, of course, so happy that you are there with us. Well, in this session, we have amazing guests. The first one is Sarah, who is in 10th grade. And hello, Sarah. How are you?
Hi, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm so excited for today's topic.
Okay, thank you for being here. And our next guest is Robert. Hello, Robert.
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Thanks for the invitation. I'm very excited to be here, and thank you again.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. I know that you are really prepared to talk about the topic, but as usual, the topic is for Juan Camilo. Juan Camilo, what's today's topic?
Thank you very much, Mr. Enrique, of course. You have known that the humanity has changed during history. It has been an evolution during the times, okay? And there is a fundamental thing that we have to take into account, that is the use of the technology, okay? The technology has allowed us to have an advance of our societies, a development of communities, and so on and so on. Taking that into account, the question is, what do you think? What is the role of the artificial intelligence in contact with the humanity? What do you believe? Who wants to start?
Me.
All right, Sarah.
In my personal opinion, I think artificial intelligence is like a useful tool that the scientific made to us to investigate and create new ideas to our quotidian things.
I think that the artificial intelligence has nowadays a very important role because it is nowadays getting more rich to our intelligence, the human intelligence. So we have to be careful about how we're going to control it or how it is going to take the role and those things. So I think that we have to be careful and also use it as a tool, but with very precautions.
Oh yes, I wanted to ask you because I believe you are very neutral, but I want to take a side, okay? Because you were mentioning about creating ideas, you mentioned about to develop the human intelligence. I don't know. I am not so fully aware of the topic as you should be because you made the investigation. But what do you believe? Do you believe that it is not the opposite, that the artificial intelligence has given a decrease in the human intelligence?
I think that, yes, although is a very important tool to us to create new ideas, but that can affect our intelligence. For example, to write a thesis or, yes, to develop your own intelligence. I think that can affect us.
Okay. I think that depends how the people starts to depend about the artificial intelligence. So if you only use it to the artificial intelligence, do always is going to like reduce your logic or your intelligence. But if you use it as a tool, as a complementary tool, maybe you can get some new ideas or some interesting topics or those things. It's like a very interesting tool in which you can like search information or take ideas or things like that.
It's interesting what you just mentioned, Robert, and of course what you also share with us. You as students, how are you using AI in your process of doing homeworks, researching, and presenting essays or some writings?
Maybe to research information in some text that we don't know like exactly the things, but we can research some ideas, but not that the intelligence make your job just to think and write the thing that you research. Yes.
Yes. Personally, I really try to not to use because I'm just like, come on, it's going by myself. Yes, come on, but in some cases, when I'm like locked, I try to ask, like the topic or the idea. Hey, I have to write a essay. Could you please help me like a topic? Or maybe with a relation, for example, the relation of a topic with a book or something like that. When I'm locked and I need like a help of a tool that knows like have the information of everything. So I, in some cases, used to ask, but for some areas that when I'm locked. Also.
All right, it's something like you got like the pride for doing it yourself, but also exactly. Also, it's a good tool. Not only for doing the things, but also for organize the information. Possibly, probably is a good tool. No,
Yes.
And maybe we forget some information, and you can research on Google on artificial intelligence, and you can make new things with that.
Or other thing that I used to use is like, oh, I have to do a research with that. Could you please send me some topics to study? So, for example, I have a Olympic of mathematics. Could you please give me a plan of studies? And with us, it says like, oh, you can search about algebra and those things, and it gives you like a plan of studies in which you can study. So I think that this is a very good tool to use it.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that use as a tool, but not as something that is independent of everything and no more. I believe it has a good ending. But I want to give you a question. Taking into account what you just mentioned about researching and finding, making the investigation, how can we trust the information of those kind of sites? Because sometimes it's, yes, for example, I'm going to find this and this and this, and you have a full detailed information, but you have not the resources to say, hey, is this true or not? Don't you believe that it is something that you need to take into account? Only do copy paste, as you were mentioning?
Yes, that is one of the risks of the artificial intelligence, because in some cases that artificial intelligence is influenced by a human thing, and that is like dangerous because you don't know what kind of information you're gonna receive and if it's true or not. That one of the risks, but I think it's like in your own job to research if it's true or not. Like, yeah, it's your own job, I think.
Do you believe that people do that?
No, no, it's like in my, like in my...
Your behavior.
Yes.
I agree. Robert?
Yes, totally agree. You have to research the areas that they have said to you. So you have to comprove. What happened that, yes, not everybody do that, just they copy and paste. And that's really the problem, because when you only copy and paste, you are not effort your brain for, yes. So that's the problem.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to, I know that the audience wants to listen something beyond of the things about all the boring part of artificial intelligence. So, I don't know, I just remember one new that said that they started to use an airplane. You know what is an airplane, no? Yes. And they use it with artificial intelligence. So their airplane was a war airplane that started like attacking some objectives. What happened that when it goes beyond the orders, it didn't have the capacity to stop. So what happens if you cannot continue the orders? To kill the owner, to kill the person that is in charge. So it killed, or it tried to kill a human being, the one that created and was controlling that. Do you believe that in one time, as Terminator, you can conclude that in one time the artificial intelligence is going to go beyond our own capabilities?
Yes, is one of the problems is the displacement of jobs. Because the artificial intelligence doesn't have ethical dilemmas. And yes, that's
good point.
The problems, because in our humanity, it's very important to use our ethical dilemma, I think.
Yes, I believe that's the point, no? About the ethics, about the conscience.
Yeah,
no, very good.
Yes, that's in this book. If you want to read 21 lessons of this century,
okay,
it talks about this, like the dilemmas and how AI is going to take a dilemma. For example, there is a very interesting example that it was, for example, that it was like let's suppose that now the ES is controlling the cars. Everything is controlled. The cars are controlled by ES. So what's happened if we have in front a kid that is running, or
Exactly.
or
An old lady.
or an old lady. So if he has he has to how do you say, like crush the.
roll over.
You have to roll over. So which the IA is going to decide to roll over the kid or to roll over the little the lady? That's the question. What would you do? Very important now is like
That was my question, because if it is not easy for you, how exactly going to do it, no? Well, this is something debate, okay?
A very important topic that it says is like we need to first comprehend ourselves, our mind, the human mind. So if we don't do it, probably the IA, when it takes a lot of develop, is going to control us. Because if we don't know our minds, ourselves, probably the IA, when it will be more developed and more strong, it will do it for us and those things.
Yes, like the automatization and the displacement of our humanity and replaced by robots.
Okay, that's good.
All right. Yeah, it's something that I'm talking about what you mentioned about jobs and about ethic dilemma. So on the future, probably, I mean, you are in 10th grade and 11th grade. In a couple of years, you're going to be just not working with human beings. You're going to be probably working with AIs, all right, for something, really advanced, all right. According to what you have, and that is an amazing book, okay, and according to your experience and what you are watching these days, what do you think is going to happen in the couple of years? I'm not talking about future like 100 years, no, I'm talking about 5 years that you are ending your studies at university. Well, let's start with something. What do you want to study, Robert? Engineering?
Yes, like electronic or...
Okay, that's amazing. So you're going to be really, hand to hand with AI.
Yes.
And what about you, Sarah?
Medicine.
Medicine, probably.
She's going to be replaced.
Yeah, you're going to be finding... No, just kidding. All right, but how would you say yourself in your future profession? As I said, in 5 years, how you see life, you as a professional in terms of AI?
Well, in my career, I think the medicine is some more ethic and human. So we can use artificial intelligence as a tool, but we cannot forget our humanity. Yes, it's like something like it's important to keep our humanity and yes, to use a tool of artificial intelligence, but not to forget that we are like attending humans.
I think that in my case, for example, engineer needs a lot of creativity. In that years, the AI is going to have a huge ability of creativity. So if it is, probably the AI will resolve problems like engineer. But if not, engineer, maybe you can ask for AI for do some calculus or some math things and try to solve. But the AI in those times will have like a huge capacity of creativity. It's like maybe they will replace few to few or in small steps like the engineers. It's the same thing.
I'm gonna move it to in terms of your university and professional careers that you're gonna pick and you're gonna choose. But I'm gonna move to the side of education. All right. Yeah, as a professional, probably you're gonna be working with AI, definitely. Okay. But what about the education in higher education? I'm talking about universities. What do you think is gonna be the role of AI in higher education?
Well, nowadays
Exactly, nowadays and the future.
Nowadays, I went to university, Javeriana, and I see all the people using their cell phones. And it was so crazy because we are like listening some guy explaining something of medicine, and all the people was sitting and yes to seeing their cell phones, and I was like, I don't know why they don't like pay attention to that man. And so I think that can correlate to the education, because maybe when a professional are talking to you and you are like saying your cell phone and don't pay attention, and that lack is your attention.
And in medicine, not that you are making a surgery, but you raise yourself. Oh my God, of course.
It's like developing the dependence of artificial intelligence, and in education is very bad because you are not develop your own intelligence.
Yeah, exactly. Because you are finding always a support from the AI. And you become a compilator of information. No? Exactly. And here you create very good to me, a very good writer of questions. Yeah. How to do this? How can I apply this and no more? Robert, you want to make...
Yes, also I have seen like in TikTok, it's always says like, hey, look, this is here to do those things work. So it is nowadays like a lot of bias that do many different works. Science paints, to, I don't know, to solve math equations or things like that. So probably nowadays and in the future, we have a very important role in how the works are. If the AIs have important influence in the works that the students are doing, yes, I think that.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy to see the future, but it's going to be a simple future, an easy future. I'm going to move it a little about, for example, art. Yeah, we already talked about art in other edition of this LDLA podcast, but talking about AI, let's move a little to art in terms of writing. I love literature, but I'm not really happy knowing about that AI can just write a novel. And what do you think about it? Have you seen something about it? Have you heard about it? What is your opinion about it?
Do you know what? You can prove like when someone is making like
plagiarize,
because you can copy that text and you research on Google. That is one part of easy. But in my opinion, the writing is something that it's very characteristic of the humanity. So yes, that's one of the problems that making artificial intelligence make our work to write.
Yes, it's like really horrifying that the artificial intelligence is getting rich more even to like our minds, because write, an important thing of humans, write literature. That is like the poesy, like there are artificial intelligence that writes poetry. And what's happened with the human? What's happened like the creativity of the human? So it's like very worrying, and that an artificial thing could do that is like, yes, very terrifying. And it's like it's getting a part of ourselves, because the poetry, the literature is of us, sorry.
Exactly.
And that artificial do it is, yes.
I have a question in relation with it. You were mentioning about the creativity and so on. I wanted to ask you, because I believe, I'm going to say probably something that is not true, but I believe it's like an opinion. The only thing that divides us as humans with the artificial intelligence, I believe, is the emotions. Because yes, you can write the poetry and the artificial intelligence as well, but they cannot implement like a real feeling, a real emotion. Do you believe that the artificial intelligence in the future can be linked to that, can have emotions in the future?
I think like maybe the intelligence could try, the artificial intelligence could try, but I think that the emotions will be very poor, like very, what do you say, very
Basic.
Yes, like have not like the
essence.
Yes, exactly. Will not have like the essence of the human and like the emotions, the truly sadness or the truly happiness.
Yeah, I think that because they don't have experience is what they have.
And that one
Good point.
like
Continue.
bad thing of the artificial intelligence. Some scientific are developing like how to make emotions in that artificial intelligence, but it's not the same. I mean, when you feel sad, you are not. It's like the sense of sadness or
Okay.
more real.
Yes, of course. I don't know. I was asking because probably, yes, as you were mentioning, they are going to learn the emotions, but in a basic way. But later they are going to continue learning and learning, and probably we will be working with robots the next decade or something like that.
Exactly, and it's fantastic to continue thinking and working on it because human beings and the culture of humans they are always is finding something else, but not always that that humans do is the best for human culture. So that's gonna be that probably we are creating our own enemy. Okay, we don't even know. Okay, but now I consider that is a fantastic topic. We really appreciate that you're present here. You're gonna be invited later on. Okay, we continue talking to you, Sarah and Robert. I really appreciate. I have no more comments about it. That was fantastic to be here. And probably you got a yes/no question as usual, Camilo.
Yes, we have as usual as the tradition a yes/no question that is the closing of it. Okay, try to think it fast because it is yes or not. Okay, in terms of the good use, no. In terms of the bad use, as you were mentioning, plagiarizing. Okay, have you used AI to copy some homeworks or some things in your school?
No.
Yes.
Okay, very, very honest. Thanks for your honest. Thank you very much. We will see you in the next chapter, in the next episode of LDLA Podcast. Goodbye.
Before ending, I want to say thank you especially to Mr. Edgar who is behind everything. Okay, because scams are behind everything.
But we cannot see him.
Exactly, but probably we're gonna use AI to edit an LDLA podcast. Thank you so much, and thank you, AI.
Goodbye.
Thank you.